I'll keep that in mind the next meeting.
I can wait.
Seven,
That's the meeting minutes. I'm reading on the wrong agenda.
so there's 7B, but is,
And
what
then,
is,
and then we're moving it to item 7C.
Correct.
And Michael Leonard will present it.
Are you talking about
right.
moving the, one item?
yeah.
to-
Get through the
Yeah,
opening.
I-
I'll tell everybody that.
What's the consent agenda, 4H3?
That's just to set a public hearing for a zoning case.
Yeah, but it's not the same one.
There is no 7C. Yeah.
That's it. You'll turn that, you'll make
No,
that 7C.
H3.
Yeah, H3 will be the new 7C.
Are you gonna make that motion?
This being the appointed time and place, I will call this meeting of the Asheboro City Council to order. At this time, I would like to ask everyone to please stand with me in a moment of silent prayer or meditation as your faith dictates. And I would ask that you give special consideration in your thoughts and prayers to our Mayor, David Smith, as his health condition is very struggling, and all prayers will be appreciated. And thank you very much. Thank you all for your consideration. At this time, I ask we have the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate everyone being here tonight. At this time, I will open the public comment period for anyone that wishing to speak on items not on the agenda. Each agenda item will have ample opportunity for someone to make insight or commentary to, but if there's something of general interest or concern that you'd like to share with the council, now would be the time. Hearing none, we'll move on to the next item. I will announce it and then make a small explanation. The consent agenda items are normally consisted of minor items, minutes from other boards, administrative items that are merely clerical in nature, such as setting appointments or things of this nature. However, it is not unusual or irregular for a request for one to be pulled out for individual consideration if someone has thoughts on the matter. We have had such a request, and if you'll turn your attention on the consent agenda item number 4H, subcategory I 3 I's, there is a request for a city zoning case that will be held. It'll go to the planning board, I would imagine, in would that be October, and then come to the council in November. But this is merely to set the appointment. It is not any action whatsoever on the matter for or against. In fact, we don't even know at this time what the application would entail, so that we don't have anything to discuss. It's just an opportunity for us to put it on the calendar so that you will know it is coming up. And that item has been moved to item 7C, and the city engineer who handles our annexation petitions will make that presentation later on in the meeting tonight. So having, with the exception of item 4H, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, with the exception of the case that you just noted, I will move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion by Mr. Burks. Second? Second by Mr. Bell. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. So thank y'all very much for that. And anyone that here that may have any interest in that particular item, it'll come up later this evening, but it will be still of a minor consequence, but that is up to your purview to make that decision. Now, our next item, item 5, will be opening a public hearing And Mr. Nuttall is gonna make us a presentation, relative to downtown Asheboro.
Thank you, Mr. Moffett. I'm going to briefly overview the city-supported grant program, which is referred to as Preserve Asheboro. The public then will be invited to offer any comments on the initiative. At the end of the public hearing, we will ask you to vote and consider allocating the $10,000 that is necessary to fund this program. I'll take this opportunity just to share with you that Ms. Corder, who typically would be giving you this presentation, is doing well and is looking forward to resuming her duties in October. And we are also looking forward to her return.
Imagine you are.
This program, the Preserve Asheboro program, is administered by Downtown Asheboro Incorporated. It is intended to encourage historic preservation-based economic development in the downtown area, and that's obviously where Downtown Asheboro's focus lies. The premise of the program is that rehabilitating historic structures supports the city's tax base, serves to enhance quality of life in Asheboro. It also can help to ensure that any underutilized structures are put back into a productive use before they deteriorate to a point that they present a problem to the community. This hearing is necessary under state law so that the public is aware of the program, the proposed public expenditure, and has an opportunity to comment on the merits of it. It is important to note that your adopted 25-26 budget did plan to appropriate these funds, so there is no need to allocate any additional funds to the program if you choose to move forward. But to start the program, council must hold this hearing and authorize the allocation of the dollars after you receive public input. DAI launched this program last year, so this would be the second year of the program with city support. There was one grant award made under last year's program. To be eligible, the same rules would apply. Property must lie within the downtown historic district as identified by the National Register. The property owner must make the application for the support. These are not construction dollars that we are talking about. These are for consultative services intended to help a property owner leverage additional financial resources that may be out there to support a redevelopment project. So it can help a property owner pursue historic tax credits. It can help do the necessary documentation for local landmark designation, or even a separate nomination for the National Register. So these are consultative dollars that we're talking about, not construction dollars. There was a notice of public hearing detailing this program that was published in the Courier Tribune as required by law. If the funds are allocated by council this evening, those interested in the program can get more details on applying from Downtown Asheboro's website, or they can inquire with the manager's office or community development staff. This is just an image taken from the Downtown Asheboro website where you can go and obtain some additional information on the project. So, Mr. Moffett, this is a public hearing, and now is the time for public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Nuttall. Excuse me.
That would be at least two properties and maybe more, right?
That's correct. It is a $5,000 cap on the award, so there would be at least two projects that could be awarded.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Mr. Nuttall while he's up? Hearing none, I will open this to the public. Does anyone in the audience have any commentary or inquiry relative to the program for Preserve Asheboro Grant Program? Hearing none, I'll ask for council's thoughts and action on this allocation of $10,000.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move we allocate the $10,000 to DAI for the Preserve Asheboro Grant Program.
Have a motion from Mr. Bell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Heath. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll be calling on Mr. Justin Luck to start our zoning cases here with our first public hearing.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. So this is a public hearing for rezoning case 2514. An application to rezone 129 East Ward Street is identified by one parcel number and a portion of a second parcel number. The request is to rezone from B2 General Commercial to OA6 CZ, Office Apartment Conditional Zoning, for a multifamily development. So this public hearing has been properly noticed, shown on the dates on your screen and in your packet. The applicant for the request is Mr. Terry Tucker, who is also the property owner. This property is just over an acre in size. It is in the corporate limits, just a few blocks over from here. The current land use is a vacant parking lot. It is located in Tier 2 of the Center City planning area due to its closeness to downtown. And being in the corporate limits, city utilities are available. East Ward Street is a city-maintained local street. There is a signalized intersection between East Ward and North Fayetteville Street, approximately 300 feet west of the subject property. NCDOT was informed of this project and responded that they had no comment. When we look at the surrounding land use, I'll bring up the zoning map. You see a lot of red B2, so a lot of commercial. You also see a lot of blue OA6, which indicates office uses. Moving on, this is the Center City overlay map. So you can see this property is solidly in Tier 2 of that overlay in green. This shows topography and utilities. There is a little bit of a hill to the rear of the property, otherwise relatively flat. And again, water and sewer are available along East Ward Street. This gives you an aerial overview of the property. You'll see a large commercial shopping center to the north and Coxborough office development to the east. You have CVS and, of course, the hospital kind of to the west, and some offices and First United Methodist Church to the south. Here are some pictures of the subject property. So again, this is a vacant parking lot. Has been vacant for some time. This is a picture of the property kind of from the rear of the property, showing kind of the topography at the back. This is looking east along East Ward Street. That's the intersection of Ward and Cox. This is looking west on Ward Street. You'll see intersection of North Fayetteville Street and Ward Street with CVS in the background. So moving on, I am going to go through the analysis in your packet while we look at the site plan. So again, this request is for a multifamily development. You'll see 6 buildings. These are 2-story buildings with 1 unit on the bottom and 1 unit on the top, so a total of 12 dwelling units. Looking at the top and around the buildings, you'll see a proposed buffer. That is not required by the zoning ordinance. That is something that the applicant is offering on their own. That will consist of evergreen trees and a 8-foot-tall black chain link fence. You'll also see some landscaping around the buildings. Looking at the parking lot, there is a little bit of a typo. It should be 31 spaces are proposed, when typically 26 spaces would be required. So there are some excess parking spaces. I'll also note that on-street parking is allowed on East Ward Street. Also, there will be a condition that prohibits the parking of RVs. The recreation area is in the front. It's a grassy area where picnic tables are proposed. You'll also see a 5-foot sidewalk along the frontage. Typically, that is required by the ordinance. However, the East Ward Street right-of-way is so narrow that ordinance required is removed. So this sidewalk is being offered by the applicant. There are no stormwater controls proposed. However, this site, as part of this redevelopment, will be slightly less impervious than it is currently, and it also will be compliant with the Tier 2 impervious, which typically is a maximum of 70%. This is around 54%. Moving on to the building elevation, these are what the buildings are proposed to look like. Again, 2-story, 1 unit on top, 1 on bottom. The siding material is fiber cement siding, and that is a permitted building material by the ordinance. So in summary, when we look at the site plan against the typical ordinance requirements, we see a sidewalk that is over and above the typical requirement, a rear and side buffer that is above the requirements, as well as some additional parking spaces. One deviation from the typical ordinance requirement is the setbacks. The building are moderately set back further. The Tier 2 tries to keep buildings in a line with other buildings on the block, and these buildings do set back just a little bit further. These are the proposed conditions. The main ones to note is this is a dwelling multifamily. That is a permitted use with no more than 12 units. The others of substance that don't deal with typical just permitting and procedure are C, that speaks to the sidewalk, D, that prohibits RV parking, and F, which speaks to lighting shall comply with standard ordinance requirements. Turning to the LDP for guidance, this property is located in the Town Activity Center on the proposed land use map, part of the Central Small Area Plan, and is part of the primary growth strategy area. There are several goals and policies that support this request, including being compliant with the proposed land use map, the zoning district fitting in with the area, the growth strategy map, and the adaptive reuse of a vacant or underutilized lot. Really are no goals or policies not supporting this request. So given that, the planning board's unanimous recommendation was to approve the request, subject to some pending site plan items which have been corrected minus the parking typo I mentioned, and to attach the conditions as summarized. On your screen, you do have the planning board's adopted plan consistency and reasonableness statement, which speaks to being compliant with the city activity center, a mixture of uses connected by sidewalks, and is reasonable given the size and conditions of the property, its closeness in providing housing to employment and services, and the reuse of the property. So your action items tonight are one, to adopt a plan consistency and reasonableness statements. If you are in agreement with the planning board, you may choose to adopt theirs. The second item is to approve or deny the zoning map amendment, and if approving, to attach the zoning conditions as summarized or with some modification. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from Mr. Luck about the application and the site plan, or any information in front of you? Hearing none, I guess we'll open for a comment, testimony period. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this project? Please state your name and sign the document.
H.R. Gallimore, Remax Central Realty, and good evening to you guys, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, and city manager. Well, it's rare that I can stand here before you and say we didn't see any objections from staff. Usually there's something. I don't think I've done one in 23 years. There was none. I think the developer and the engineer did a really good job of being in compliance, and that was their goal. I will say that as a realtor, that market rents downtown near the center city, we're constantly striving to do that. I think this fills that, and it certainly is an improvement over a vacant parking lot.
Contrary to my nature, you're in fact taking up more asphalt than you're putting down, so I have serious concerns about that. But
You have an objection to that, Mr. Walker?
just categorically proceed.
It might need to be researched.
Any questions for me? I would like to reserve any time if there are any concerns, to answer any concerns.
I did have a question.
All right, fire.
With regard to the zoning conditions, or is the applicant amenable?
Yes, all letters have been mailed to all the neighbors, and he's fine with all the conditions. The developer is here, should you need to speak with him, but he's a man of few words, unlike me. Okay, thank you very much.
Is there anyone here to speak in opposition or add any other commentary to this proposal? Hearing none, I will ask the council of their wishes.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we adopt the plan consistency and reasonableness statement and approve the zoning map amendment along with the attached zoning conditions.
We have an appropriate motion from Ms. Heath. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Swears. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. There you go. Get to it. Okay, I believe that concludes our zoning items, and that That brings us to item number 7, of which was previously mentioned. There is item A, and then I'll have a little introduction when we get to item B and C, as we'll sort of combine those. Mr. Leonard.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Moffitt. This is for consideration of petition from JRE Asheboro LLC requesting a satellite annexation of the parcels listed on, I believe they're on your agenda. It's containing 30.79 acres and is located along US Highway 64 East. This portion of property consists of those 3 acres. And you have in your packets a resolution prepared by the city attorney that directs the city clerk to take the required actions. And staff recommends adoption of this resolution by reference.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Leonard relative to this annexation process? Hearing none, I'll ask if there's anyone wishing to speak for or against this item. Hearing none, I will accept a motion from council.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move we adopt a resolution directing the city clerk to investigate the annexation petition by reference.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Burks. Motion passes.
No, we haven't voted.
We need to vote.
Thank you.
Y'all vote.
Ask for a vote.
I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. We was making such good progress. I do care what y'all think, no matter what they think.
Voting stuff gets in the way, Walker.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. No good deed goes unturned.
Thank you, sir. In anticipation of your action, the city clerk has prepared a certification of sufficiency of the petition. In light of the certification, you have in front of you a resolution prepared by the city attorney setting the public hearing date for the October 9th, 2025 city council meeting on the question of the requested annexation, and staff recommends adoption by reference.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, you were not the only one who was, forecasting our action.
There you go.
I would move that we adopt a resolution directing the city clerk, setting the date of the public hearing for the annexation request.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second.
And the all-important vote?
Aye.
Motion passes. On item 7B, as it will incorporate 7C, it's the same parcel, same properties for B and C. if
That's
I
correct.
understand it correctly. And it's known, if something comes into the city, it must be placed into some sort of zoning category.
That's correct.
And item C was the case to determine what that would be, since the applicant had a specific idea request relative to that. So if you could present us B and C in the manner you think best.
Yes, sir. So for your consideration is a petition received from K Square Gold Hill LLC requesting the satellite annexation of PIN number 776-2721-029 and containing 74.495 acres located between Windsor Trail and Gold Hill Road. This property is one parcel. It's located between, as I said, Windsor Trail and Gold Hill Road. And you have in your packets a resolution prepared by the city attorney that directs the clerk to take the required actions.
Any questions for Mr. Leonard?
Staff recommends adoption by reference.
Any further commentary? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move we approve this resolution directing the city clerk to investigate an annexation petition submitted by K Square Gold Hill LLC.
Motion by Ms. Heath, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bale. All in favor?
Question.
Excuse me, excuse me.
Are you regrouping these together?
No, they're two separate items.
Okay, but I mean, so we're gonna come to the third one.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure I was clear on that.
Yeah, it's just a little abnormal in the way we're approaching it, but,
Gotcha.
so, all in favor? Okay, now, 7B,
In anticipation of your action, the city clerk has prepared a certification of sufficiency for the petition. In light of this certification, you have in front of you a resolution prepared by the city attorney setting the public hearing date for the October 9th, 2025 city council meeting on the question of the requested annexation, and staff recommends adoption of this resolution by reference.
Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move we adopt the resolution setting the date of the public hearing by reference.
Have a motion, Mr. Bell, a second.
Second.
Any questions? So, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Now, explain to us, it's a little unusual for our order here, but in addition to that, the applicant also has requested a zoning case. Could you please share that with us? Or you want me to
Mr. Moffett,
read it?
yeah, I'll take that if I
Okay, that'd be
can. Since the
great.
specific inquiry related to the question of scheduling the initial zoning hearing on the property, I've gone ahead and put up on the screen what the city process is for applying initial zoning or requesting to change zoning on the property. So in this instance, as in all instances, the city responds to a petition that's received regarding a change in zoning or an application for initial zoning. That application is filed at least 55 days before the city council meeting, and it must be filed at least 17 days before the next scheduled planning board meeting. Specific to this request, that occurred. In fact, the planning board on Tuesday held its review of this initial zoning. And for your information, they did continue that matter to their meeting in October. Consistent with our process, the applicant is required to mail notices to abutting property owners at least 10 to 25 days prior to that planning board meeting. The applicant may also engage in personal outreach when neighborhoods or mail notices to additional property owners. The planning board then hears the request and forwards a recommendation to the city council. Before that, the request for a initial city zoning or a change in zoning, the item must be placed on the city council's agenda by the staff, and the council needs to authorize the advertisement and scheduling of the public hearing, which is typically for the following month. And that's where we are at in this process. The item before the board is asking to set the date of the public hearing so that there may be dialogue and discussion pertaining to the zoning matter.
And depending on actions by the applicant or the planning board, that may even get continued or rescheduled.
That's correct. As it says at the bottom, at any point in the process, the applicant or opposing parties may make a written request to continue that matter to a future meeting to allow for additional information to be obtained. And so this application has followed our typical process, as we require of every application. And again, the matter that's before you this evening only is to set the date of public hearing for the question.
So in our standardized procedures, each and every box has been checked and date made. So now we're at the appointed time. Do you want me to read it, or would you like to?
Go ahead.
For case number RZ 25-17, there is a request to apply initial city zoning, R10, conditional zone, medium density residential conditional zoning for a residential plan unit development to property located at the eastern terminus of Windsor Trail and the west side of Gold Hill Road, south of Randolph Tabernacle Road, which is Randolph County, parcel identification number 7762721029, which is the same annexation petition that we've just heard previously. So if everyone's in agreement, I'll accept a motion to advertise and schedule this.
Let me ask one question. Sure. This always confuses me a little bit. Now, we have to annex this area before we do the zoning, right? So the annex hearing will be first on next month. Is that the way that works?
Correct. Before the council can take action on a question of zoning on a property, the city has to have jurisdiction first. In some instances, we already have jurisdiction via extraterritorial planning jurisdiction, or it may already be in the city limits. In this specific case, yes, sir, it's outside of the city limits, it's outside of our extraterritorial planning jurisdiction. So before the council can respond to the question of zoning, will need to deal with the request for annexation, and that will occur. We will present those in a concurrent manner so that everybody is clear on the project and what the request is.
And in fact, assigning a zone is mandatory.
The city must apply zoning to all property within its jurisdiction, yes, sir.
And you have a timeline to accomplish that as well.
Just a point of clarification on that, we do, historically, the city council does go ahead and keep the zoning hearing that you've authorized to be advertised, keeps it grouped together with the zoning hearings that all occur at the front end of the meeting. The statute simply says that you cannot take final action until the annexation has been accomplished. So in order to keep zoning together and get the full information in front of the city council, historically, you can change it any way you want to, but historically, the zoning case is heard first. Council lets people speak, whether they need to leave, whatever may happen, so that everybody can hear the same thing. And then once that has all been received, the council will not make the final decision. They can continue it until later in the meeting, to where you can get around to narrowing down your focus just on the questions relevant to the annexation, which is, have all the petitioners, the people who own the interest in the property, has everybody signed saying, yes, we want this property to be brought into the city and subject to taxation and regulation? And then two, are there any residents of the municipal corporation who want to be heard in opposition to the annexation? They're not talking about land use impacts. They're talking about the allocation of resources for that. At that point, you get that focus and you make that final decision. Then historically, you come back and make the final decision on the land use question, just as a matter of clarification.
Thank you, Counselor.
I'm sorry, I'm out of touch, but
No.
this group of people right here, we live and will be impacted by this annexation and this zoning. And the language is foreign to us.
Okay.
Can you kind of just thumb it down for us?
Well, I'm probably a self-appointed expert at that, so. Yes, they had the planning board meeting, all right, and for the applicant to do what he proposes to do, he needs, city services, water and sewer. And so, in order to receive those services, that property would have to become a part of the city limits of Asheboro. That's the premise of the developer. So he's gone through the steps for each level to do that. Now, apparently they're still working out details with oftentimes it's a neighbor group, sometimes it's an engineering concern or some other feasibility item, and so it's not unusual for a case to get continued at the planning board level or quite frankly at the council level. The primary thing that we're doing right now to comply with but our ordinance and state law is there are minimum and maximum advertising times to notify the public of such meeting and application on the land, so that and that's the reason for the letter sent out to adjoining property owners, so they will know these items are happening. Tonight, nothing is happening other than we are acknowledging an application has been made and giving them an appointment to appear before us. That's all we know at this time at the council level. Now, there was information presented at the planning board, but but we wait for them to complete their actions before we look at anything. So all those details being answered. So all we're doing right now is complying with public advertising to make sure everybody knows and setting a calendar date.
So this goes back to the zoning board to consider annexation in zoning, like on.
No, the planning board doesn't have, they have no jurisdiction over the annexation itself. That is purely the council. The only reason it's going back to the planning board is the applicant asked for it to be continued. If it hadn't, it would be coming forward. But on its own time schedule. So, we don't know when we're gonna get it, cause we don't know how many, they could ask for more than one continuation, so. But the fact that it was on the planning board calendar, we're required to make the proper advertisements in a timely manner so that everyone will know when it's going to be heard, and it will not be in secret or behind closed doors or anything. That's when we'll know. It's, all we're doing is complying with the dates we've been given, and it's immaterial to us if we hear it in October, November, December. That's up to the developer. Absolutely, and thank you for asking for that clarification. Do you ever get around to voting on this?
Yep.
Okay, well, let's, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we approve former 4H3, now 7C, setting a date.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Heath. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes. So now we have, certainly everyone should know we're gonna talk about this at some time.
You'll get notified of it.
You'll be notified.
Yeah, adjoining property owners will be notified. Yes.
But it'll also be in the media
And
and on the
signs,
city website, on the agendas, and
property will be posted with signs as well.
this is a small town. Just call the planning and zoning department if you got any questions.
I'm adjacent property owner. I should
You'll get a letter, but if anything, if you've got any concerns, you can visit down there and you can look over all the information they got. It's all public record. Okay, let's see here.
Number 8.
We now have let me get back over on the right page.
Yep, you close?
Yep, I have been flipping back and forth. Okay, Michael Leonard, you're still with us. You have number 8, letter of agreement.
Yes, sir. This is for consideration of a authorization for the city manager to execute a letter of agreement with the North Carolina Department of Transportation, Division of Aviation, for airport safety and maintenance projects at Asheboro Regional Airport. These projects may include, but are not limited to, pavement repair or replacement, joint crack sealing, patching, surface treatments, pavement markings, or other infrastructure maintenance. And staff recommends approval of this.
These are typically of a very generous proration, so I feel like we should be in support of that. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Trogdon, so moved. A second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Burke. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Now to Mark Avenue, item number 9.
Item number 9 is concern for a right-of-way closure for Mark Avenue. City staff has received a petition from Mr. Donald Lanier seeking to close a portion of Mark Avenue right-of-way, as can be seen on the map in yellow in front of you. Typically, the city staff, for city staff to begin processing road closure requests, we require property owners who adjoin the right-of-way to be closed to submit the petition. We also require submission of a current survey that identifies the area to be closed. This is kind of a unique situation because Mr. Lanier did own the property at the time of the petition, but has currently sold that property. And prior to his conveying the land earlier this year, he indicated that he offered to pursue the closure on behalf of one of the property owners and that all necessary owners are agreeable to the signing of the petition. Staff would like to work with Mr. Lanier and relevant landowners to begin the process of the closure request. Unless there is objection from City Council, we plan to direct Mr. Lanier to obtain all necessary signatures and required survey, and at that time, we will place the matter on City Council agenda for formal consideration.
So to be clear, the parcel owners to the east, they are in agreement with this?
Yes, sir, that is,
The parcel ended in 3519 and 4162.
4162, that's actually the same owner now. The one that ended in 4162 was Mr. Lanier's tract, and he is in agreement according to Mr. Lanier, and willing to sign on that because he has property that goes all the way to Timber Lane, and will be using that for
Okay.
access if he does.
I can see the thought process behind that, and I think it's probably immaterial to us, but does anyone have any questions or comments?
Mayor Pro Tem, if I may, I'd like to add a condition that we also require that survey to denote all city easements. We do have a force main that runs along the back side of that property. We just want to protect it.
Well, that was something I was gonna, I'm sure it must be a general right-of-way, that's there now that you could construct a road on.
That's correct. It's currently being used as a driveway for 1717.
All right, they may want us to keep, a utility easement.
They might, but they've not requested that. Our easement.
Well, they could always give it back if they have a use.
Correct.
So, you know, I mean,
Yeah, we talked about that when they want to attach on to city utilities, and right now, there's no request to do that.
Currently, we've got a force main that runs up the east side along the creek there.
Okay, yeah.
Crosses the property in a couple places.
well, they'd have to build something along that ridge, because if they go all the way to Briar's Chapel, they can't get there from there, so.
It's a ravine, yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, sir.
That raises a question. Are you saying that their driveway is in the right of way there?
Their driveway is currently in the yellow marked right-of-way.
Okay. I mean, that's the only driveway they have. I mean,
Well, they'll retain the property.
They would retain, if we close the right-of-way,
Okay,
they would retain
okay.
their portion. And it's not centered, it's more to the northern portion.
yeah.
And depending on how it's split up, you know, it can make a weird jag in there because it would go to equally to each property owner.
Well, I got to assume they've made some provisions, because they had to agree to this.
Yeah, they got notice and all that, okay.
Just, I mean, it encroaches a little bit on Pepper Ridge Road, so you can't go straight across on Pepper Ridge Road
Yes, sir.
as it's currently presented.
We would close it at the existing right-of-way,
So it'd be two.
line on Pepper Ridge, on Pepper Ridge, which runs north and south. So it wouldn't be, it looks like it's indicating as the center line of Pepper Ridge, but it would be on the existing right-of-way.
Okay.
It wouldn't interfere
You
with
can't make that turn now.
Yeah.
It wouldn't interfere with that intersection there at all?
No, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move we adopt that, that we, oh,
If you don't mind, we'll just go with the consensus of the council.
Yeah.
Reason being, a timeline gets triggered when the council first takes action,
Okay.
and so we'll wait until a resolution comes to you.
I think we
Do that.
proceed with asking for them to have a survey and we address it at another time.
Any objection to Mr. Bell's consensus? Proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are clear in making them bear the cost for that survey, is that correct?
Okay, it's officially your turn now. Yes, it is, sir.
Thank you.
That was about one of our favorite subjects.
Okay. What I thought you would like talking about junk motor vehicles. The good news is, the document you have has been refined to correct some grammar issues and to tighten up some language, but it is essentially the same document that you voted on at the previous regular council meeting. The substantive goal of this is to make it clear that this authority, with the proposed ordinance, pertains to the junk motor vehicles that are on private property and the private property owner has not requested the city to remove the vehicles. There's a separate statute that authorizes that. We're making it clear under the provision at issue that regardless of whether the property owner, real property owner, asks the city to remove the junk motor vehicle, that it is subject to a prohibition, it or multiple vehicles, that are laid out, and it's unlawful to refuse to comply with an order. The thing that, and previous authority was there, but it was a little ambiguous. It was my view and other staff members that from a legal perspective, we need to refine the due process provisions there to make it a cleaner process and to give some guidance to the code enforcement officer so that before towing occurs, there's notice both on the vehicle itself and mailed to the property owner stating the violation, There's guidance to the code enforcement officer laid out in here as far as the factors to look for to see does it qualify under the definition, even get down to the specifics of flat tires, parts being removed, that sort of thing. It also then wants a specific weighing by the code enforcement officer. Do the public benefits outweigh the cost to the private property owner? If the conclusion is that the public benefits outweigh the cost of a junk motor vehicle that fits the definition, the order can be issued. And then you're given an appeal period in which you can file an appeal of that determination up to the city manager. And and when that appeal happens, that stays all efforts at enforcement until the appeal is heard. The appeal is under the ordinance will be heard within the 30 days when it goes to the city manager, and then that's the final decision. And it also authorizes the use of private towing company once that process has gone through to remove the vehicle, and then the statutory protections that are in place over mechanics liens go into place as far as for the storage fees. Because unlike with a criminal case, the city's not impounding the car, it's simply having it towed and stored. They're used, if the people don't want to try to redeem it, it can be sold at that time following the laid out statutory procedures, which also involves under state statute an opportunity for a hearing. It's coming back to you a second time to make sure we comply with a separate statutory provision, because since it does state that it's unlawful to ignore an order to remove, in order to have the criminal sanction appeal, which would be a misdemeanor, it has to go through two. It can't be adopted on the date of introduction, and the safest interpretation of that is it's two different readings of essentially the same material. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Class 3 misdemeanor.
Huh?
Class 3 misdemeanor.
Yes, class 3 misdemeanor, that's correct.
Any further questions for Mr. Sugg? I suppose this is our time to have final council action.
Correct.
If, what is your wishes, council, on adopting this resolution as presented?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move we adopt for the second reading the ordinance amending Chapter 90 of the Code of Asheboro by reference.
A motion, Mr. Bell, a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Burks. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, if I can just make one comment.
Certainly.
Very nice to see an ordinance tidied up, and I look forward to us doing this process with other ordinances in the future. We need to.
Thank you. Mr. Nuttall, would you provide us a plan?
Almost.
A plan update then?
This is a plan update, yes, sir. The update is that we soon hope to conclude what has been a long and arduous journey with the federal government involving its review of the third fire station emergency operations center to be built on Zoo Parkway and Crestview Church Road. I think we submitted our initial documentation pertaining to the project in October of '24. We've had some requests for additional information pertaining to the project, which we have submitted to FEMA. Thankfully, we have had good assistance from the congressional delegation on this issue to help us break some log jams when they occur, particularly Representative Hudson's office has been very helpful as we try to get answers in terms of where our requests for the final determination from FEMA is pertaining to this funding. So this is the $3 million of the almost $5 million of non-city funds for the project is coming via FEMA, and that's what we've been working to get through. We now have a final date of September 29th when we are told we will have a final determination. Our design of the project, not surprisingly, has kind of been on pause until we know for sure that FEMA is going to provide support for the project. So as soon as we get that determination, which we expect to be positive, we've had no indications otherwise, we will be able to finalize those plans with the architect We are several months away. We do have quite a bit of work to do with the architect to finalize that, because you can only get so far before you get that final approval. So in any event, I do think you will have a good set of plans in the next coming months. The reason for the agenda item this evening is, and we do need action on this because this pertains to an arrangement that happened with the property owner who sold the city the property. The delay that we've encountered in federal compliance has affected our schedule. When we started the project design, we had anticipated constructing all of the public infrastructure to serve the project by the end of this year. And since we are not there, we are asking council to authorize the city attorney to provide an extension of what is right now a temporary access easement. It's over an area identified in yellow on the map there. That allows the property owner who sold the property, has probably, I think, 50 or 60 acres of remaining property to be able to cross the city's property should he get in a position where he's ready to move forward with project plans before we are done. So this was always part of the arrangement when we acquired the property, was this for this easement to be there. It will go away at the point the city constructs the access for the project. So we do expect Crestview Church Road to be extended into the property, and at that point, there will be no need for that easement. Access will be provided via that right-of-way. So this is a request to extend that temporary easement for an additional 24 months. We do expect to be concluded with what we need to do by that point, and that the easement will no longer be needed at that time. So staff's recommendation is to direct the city attorney to extend the duration of that temporary easement for Tanner Investment Properties for an additional 24 months.
Any further questions for Trevor?
You have one for Jeff.
Jeff, please.
I understand this is for the preparation of it. Do we need a separate action to have enable Donald to sign it?
Yes, what'll happen is, if it's agreed with you, I'm not asking for a vote tonight. If there's consensus for me to proceed, I'll draft it, make sure that the property owner's in agreement with it, and we'll bring it back to you to get authorization.
I truly think it's in our best interest. Does anyone not concur?
I think we need to move forward with extending the easement, or temporary easement.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
what we need.
With your permission, Mr. Moffett, I'll move into agenda item
Please.
12. This is a update just on recent city initiatives and activities related to the homeless situation here in the city. It's been several months since we've given the last update on kind of what we're seeing in the current state of affairs. And talking with the police department, our code enforcement office, we're estimating that we're presently looking at a population of about 80 homeless individuals. There's about 20 properties throughout the city that have had some level of recurring instances of unauthorized camping over time. So those properties are now on our radar in terms of regular monitoring by both the police department and code enforcement to make sure on sites where we previously had problems, we don't allow an issue to recur. The downtown area in particular has seen an increase as camps outside of the downtown have been closed. So in essence, we're dealing with them elsewhere, and homeless camps are migrating across the city, including to, in some instances, more to the downtown central location. We continue to work with across the organization, sanitation, environmental services, police, code enforcement. It's a team effort to address those issues, and first and foremost, dealing with any unlawful activities that are occurring on city property, ensuring that we're dealing with the trash, preventing unintended belongings from being left on city property. So this is something that we have to do on a very regular basis to prevent an issue from getting out of hand. I do want to emphasize, when we encounter individuals in need, we do work very hard with social service providers to offer information on available resources and assistance, because it is out there. Assistance for housing, Medicaid, food, nutrition services, substance abuse, for individuals who are ready to avail themselves of those services and that help. We stand ready to offer it. Unfortunately, not everybody is ready to take that assistance. We've made, according to the most recent police department numbers, we've had close to 30 arrests for trespassing, which means individuals have had a warning that they cannot be on the premises and have been told to vacate, but did not do so, which led to that action by the police department. Meanwhile, we're continuing to develop relationships with those community organizations that are working to make the situation better. Most recently, the shelter on Wayman Avenue, as you know, is under new management. That management has worked proactively with city officials to get ahead of any issues that they are encountering down there, and I think that's been a pretty positive development. We've also educated dozens of property owners about how they can initiate no trespass actions by the city, and giving us authority to act on their behalf and trespass unauthorized individuals from the premises. So that list of property owners who have worked with the police department continues to grow, and we are over 100 now property owners who are allowing us to address the matter on their behalf. I do want to give a lot of credit to Lieutenant Ruth and Sergeant Hunter at the police department, who have been very involved and very forward in their efforts in reaching out to the community and business owners and property owners about what they can do to help us address the situation. As camps are closed, now what we are seeing, in addition to individuals moving from one site to another, we're seeing more instances, unfortunately, of individuals inhabiting dilapidated or unoccupied structures and utilizing property after hours. So it just tells us that we need to continue work on identifying and removing these unsafe, blighted structures, and providing a consistent presence on properties to ensure that lawful behaviors occurring. Police department has been very present and engaged, particularly in the downtown area, and that has made a big difference from our standpoint in issues specifically in the downtown area. But as we see those needs and we see those trouble areas, that's where we dedicate attention. But there's a lot of challenges out there. But I really want to give a credit to the police department, code enforcement, our public works teams. They work as one unit to quickly address issues when we know about them. Public can help us by being more eyes out there in the community, and we can then take action.
Sure, thank you for putting that together. I will add, the men's shelter on Wayman Avenue, knock on wood, I think since we've had new management, our call volume there has dropped almost to zero.
Not near the rate it was.
Yes, sir. So both the police and fire department have had almost no calls there since the new management has taken over, and the facility's been renovated. It's a place that you would now feel comfortable being in, and I think that this council deserves a lot of credit working with the county commissioners and Senator Craven and making that a much better project.
Absolutely. It's a challenging section of our demographics. Any progress is highly welcomed, and it's challenging to get help to those that don't want it, or don't want the conditions that come with it, the healthy conditions that come with it. But thank you for that update, and thank you for the continued progress. It's any progress is welcome, and that's a tremendous amount. At this time, we normally have a discussion of upcoming events, and normally a list of them appears on my screen. There we go. Seeking ye shall find. As you will see, we have our concerts, the Chamber of Commerce, No Tie Fair, Oktoberfest. Let's see, the fly-in, Latin Independence Heritage Celebration, the Fall Festival, which always is a big event, and Cycle NC Mountains to Coast Ride with 1,000 cyclists coming through. So that'll be all interesting events. Does anyone have any particular event they would like to enumerate? If not, I'll start with Mr. Trogdon. Any comments for this evening?
Just to reiterate what you said earlier, our prayers and thoughts with Mayor Smith. He's going through a tough time, and keep our fingers crossed that everything goes well with that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. McCaskill. Mr. Burke?
Yeah, same here. Mayor Smith's been in our prayers for a long time, and Lorraine as well. She's having to struggle with all that too, so.
Z?
Definitely prayers for the mayor, and Lorraine, and his other family and friends and all of us who care about him deeply. Also want to give congratulations to one of our fellow elected officials, David Allen, who was named Outstanding County Commissioner of the Year by the North Carolina County Commissioners Association. So congratulations to him and thank him for his service. And since we are getting ready to do the last concert, just want to thank Public Works and Culture and Recreation Services for all that they do to make those concerts possible. They're behind the scenes, but they make it happen. So hope to see everybody Sunday.
Mr. Swears?
I do think that the concert series, it gets bigger and better every year. I think the attendance is better. It's just an exciting time to be downtown Asheboro right now.
Mr. Bell?
Nothing further, just prayers continue for David.
Um,
That's it.
To elaborate on, or expand upon, Mayor Smith's situation, I want to take this time to thank and honor a new friend of mine that have enjoyed getting to know quite well. Our manager, Donald Duncan, has gone way over and above in an immediate fitting in and availing himself to all factions of the city, and especially to the Smith family. He has taken on their project with great interest and made sure city services were available, and that the mayor has limited family and has been tended to and transportation provided for. And we thank you for taking care of our number one son of Asheboro.
Team effort.
And your sincerity and care for this is duly noted and much appreciated, and we thank you very much for that. Having no other items before us, I will declare us stand adjourned. Thank you for coming tonight.
Let's talk to David, tell him we're all playing.
We may have to fight the supper crowd tonight, Betty.
Well, if you want to go, let's hit it. We got